Good day, good day.
Welcome back.
We're not
Welcome back.
we're not actually this calm. It's just early.
Listen, just be glad we didn't sing the ditty that we were planning on singing.
Yeah,
Because I was like, is she going to do it? Are we going to sing when we start it?
we'll have to
Like,
find out.
waiting with anticipation.
Look, we want to know. Keri and Allison have a question for you. We're speaking directly to you. We want to know, how the heck should we start this podcast? People have these great little songs that they play.
Like a jingle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we were toying with this whole call and response idea where one of us does a little jazz elevator music vocally, and the other person then
Because
has
that's normal. Like on the list of things that we should consider normal. Total
yeah,
fine.
is this what you want out of us? Tell
What do
us.
you want?
If not, give us a better suggestion because we might be going with it.
See, the real question though is I haven't, and my friends who know me in real life will know that this is like legit. I haven't vetted your voice yet, Allison.
Mine?
Your musical talent.
Oh, geez. That feels like a big. That feels like a big test.
I'm not saying that I have like amazing musical talent, but I
But you
have
do.
a very sensitive musical ear
Okay.
that is very sensitive to like pitch and things like that.
You're Mariah Carey in the booth. She's going to
Literally.
hold her hand up to her ear with the runs.
Yeah.
Yes. And you
And I
can.
will judge you. I will
I love
judge you.
that.
So
This,
just know that,
maybe
you
this
know,
is
at
the
some point.
one time that you will ever judge me because I feel like I've never been judged by you, but maybe this is going to be it.
And listen, it's not me. It's like the part of me that is very judgmental about musical talent.
It's not me, it's
It's like a
you.
part of me, you know?
No, I agree. Bring out that IFS.
Right. Like I know that that is not me. Like I don't want to judge people. I don't naturally judge people. I have parts that 100%
Oh,
judge
same.
the shit out of people.
And
I have friends who tell me they're like, "You're the nicest person I know." And I'm like, "Oh, if you could see the cave where all my parts gather and like talk trash
like, yeah,
internally." Yeah.
make a fire and dance around it and sing at the
Yeah.
expense of other people.
And sing
Yeah.
some jazzy elevator music. Maybe that's what you do. I'm gonna ask them if they could do that. Jazz hands and all.
Okay, I used to, so I like was in high school choir. I
Oh.
did sing at, did I sing at church growing up?
Wait, were you like an alto,
I was a
soprano?
soprano.
Wow. Oh, like a soprano. Did you have like soprano one and two? Like a really high soprano or like more like
I
a
feel like I
middle?
was more of a two, like I was a lower.
Okay, okay.
I have a middle range, middle to sort of high. Like,
Listen, the fact that you even know that, I feel like bodes really well.
I mean, I cannot read music. This is the funniest thing too. We growing up, again in high school choir, all these like clearly Broadway bound people from Hunterdon County, New Jersey. There's like one who actually did like make it to
Mm.
Carnegie Hall type person. But anywho, and she has a lovely voice. If you're listening, I'm thinking of you. But that was not me. I could never read music. I never learned. We had to sight read as one of our final or midterm and final exams.
They
You
didn't
bet your
teach it
bottom.
to you? Like I feel like they taught us how to.
No.
So how did they expect you to
If they
know? They
did, I
didn't.
missed that class. But
You were so.
which I might have. I mean, I hated high school, but I don't remember learning ever. If if it was something we had to sight read, I think I would. It was a piece that was like everyone had to do, so I would just like listen to what other people did and then parrot it back and like mimic it.
Smart though. Listen, that sounds like some great coping skills right there.
Ingenuity, we just have to fly by the seat of our pants.
Well, did you enjoy it? Like, was it stressful, or you still like enjoyed singing?
Oh, I love to sing. I'm a singer in the car. I've been on a Wicked kick.
Yeah.
I feel like my entire TikTok, all my feeds are TikTok era Wicked
Did you
themed.
go to the Wicked sing along?
I
I
did.
saw it regular, and then had to go back to the sing along
Did
for
you?
my child, who would
Oh.
have then wanted to go see it again.
I would like to go see it again. I just saw the regular with my mother. My husband I finally convinced him that I want to go again.
See, go to do the sing along one. It was really fun.
But him for the first time taking him to the, I feel like I don't know if he would vibe
Right.
with
I hear you. I hear you.
that. However, I would be down like Chinatown to go for the sing along. I would have a blast.
We like screamed our heads off.
This is me in the car.
My
Every time.
my Wicked claim to fame, thank you, Mom, is that I saw the original cast of Wicked on Broadway. I lived, like, grew up in Connecticut, like, very close to New York, and saw the
Harry, I just got
original cast.
goosebumps.
Yeah. So, like, when other people talk about judgmental parts, when other people are like, oh, I'm so into Wicked, I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, did you see Adina
Yeah.
and Kristen on
First,
Broadway?
first,
Like, no, you
first
didn't.
name basis too. Love that for you.
Speaking of judgmental things, how much are we currently judging 2025? What a
Oh,
shit
ooh.
show that is 2025.
We've just really started off with a bang, is how I'm trying to view it. We've just started off really as bad as it could be. And my thought is that how much, I don't even want to say this out loud, but like how much worse could it really get? And I said in therapy, like it probably is going to get worse. And my therapist
Yeah.
agreed, which I love for us and our dynamic. But
Yeah.
man, it's a doozy.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast that the one of the lovely hosts was like, "Welcome to 2025 and we just have so much hope for 2025." And I thought, I don't have, and not to say that like I'd have no hope in life. That's not
Yeah.
true. But like if you are feeling like we are feeling that this is just terribleness and have been dreading this,
Yeah.
not only for the things that we know that might come this year that just feel really horrible in all the
Doomsday-esque.
ways. But also, here we are in a very typical beginning of January, post New Year, like talk about food and bodies and dieting. And I think for those of us who have like crossed over onto the other side of this, and for those of you who are new to this, like this is a really challenging time. Like even for us, like veterans
Yeah.
of this work, it is a really, really
Yeah.
challenging time.
Well, for me, it always feels like, how the heck are we still talking about this amidst all the other stuff that's going on in the world? Like,
Yeah.
how is this? How is like that the one constant? How is that the thing that's staying consistent? And gosh, is like the same song and dance, just a different outfit right on it, just a different, And again, it doesn't even feel that different. It feels like I can recognize it and call it out so easily, but it still is. It's
Yeah.
gosh, it like bombards us at this time of year.
It feels worse to me this year than it usually does. Like it always feels bad
Yeah.
this time of year. It just has like a whole other flair
Yeah.
this year, and it's really and like I'm sure you've had clients like if everyone I talk to who is like aware of these things is feeling really, really impacted,
Mm.
even maybe in a different way this year.
Yeah.
And again, maybe some of that is everything else that's going on, and like our baseline right now is to feel really activated by everything, and then throw this
Mm.
on top of it. I was talking yesterday with someone about who was feeling like, down and like had been in this kind of like, has been feeling some signs of like depression. And really when we talked, like at the end of the conversation, I was like, you've had like 13 different things happen to you in the last couple of months, and the world is literally and figuratively burning down around us. So like there is just no way, especially for those of us that are like feelers and maybe
Mm.
like, shout
Sensitive.
out to our highly sensitive peeps out there,
Yeah.
right? Like how it is impossible to not be internalizing some of this stuff.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're so right. How can we not absorb all of it that's around us? I'm curious
So yeah,
what you're noticing or what feels harder for you this year than in past years. Like, what are the things you're, I guess, absorbing from the world?
yeah. Well, I know we've talked a lot about like how the emergence and the continual growth, it seems, of like the GLP-1 industry, right? For those of you who know it by the other names like Ozempic and Wegovy and all of these medications that are
Yeah.
now being used specifically for weight loss. And just to be clear, we are not like anti anyone who chooses to do this for themselves. Like everyone gets to make their own
Or
choice
for
about
or for a medical reason, right? Like I know
right.
people that are not engaging in it. I have clients that are doing it for
Yeah.
diabetes and or liver stuff and or autoimmune. I mean, again, it's there for medical reasons, but I think what we're kind of talking about specifically is the use of it for the aesthetic
Yeah.
benefit of weight loss.
And the huge focus, it's like how often are people, I feel like, even when there's been discussion of like this is for some kind of quote unquote health reason, such as some kind of inflammation, like inflammatory thing, or even talking about diabetes, or there's always this question of is the reason that they think it's going to work for you because you're going to potentially lose weight. And we know not everyone
Yeah.
loses weight on it. But I had like this really interesting experience in the last couple of weeks where I was on like TikTok specifically. Um, and you know what happens with the gosh darn algorithm where like you linger for
A
point 0.2
microsecond.
seconds. Yeah. Like it's insane. I don't know. Whoever developed that shit, man. I don't know. They're way smarter
Come
than
fix our websites
really.
and give us like SEO for people. Like, come on,
Can
help us.
you run a Google ad for me? Because I feel
Use
like you would be able to do it really
use
well.
your powers for good, damn it.
Right. Like it's like, the second you just linger a second longer and then all of a sudden it is your entire feed. And typically, right, like depending on the mindset that we're in, typically I would scroll past something like that. Maybe I'd watch it just more for like information of what are people talking about.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that I had spiraled into this rabbit hole where
Yeah.
every single video that I was seeing was about this, and I had stopped like my part that is very critical about these things and really is able to like take the bird's eye view and step back. It just wasn't the one that was the most present. Even my like spouse at one point said to me, who knows lots about how I feel and what I do, and said to me, "I'm surprised at the videos that you're watching. I feel like these are things that you typically would like scroll past." And I made up some lie to him about why I was watching it. Like this went into like ridiculousness for me, right? Again, maybe for someone else that's helpful. For me, it was not good. And then the last straw was I could feel the part of me that popped up that was legitimately considering, like, oh my gosh, this is something I should do. And again, there would be nothing wrong if I came to that decision from a self-led, values-based place of I need this for something in particular, but it wasn't. It was about weight loss. And I think, and we talked about this, that part of what tipped me off is that they started talking about it for sleep apnea.
Hmm.
And I have sleep apnea, but again, there's all this confusion like what is it actually treating, or are they talking about if you lose weight your sleep apnea could potentially get better? And for me that is too much of a slippery slope of like some kind of trying to lose weight intentionally, because I know that at some point that weight will get gained back, and I'm already in such a good place like mentally in the body that I'm in that I can't imagine having to like go down that road again. So when that part popped up that was like this is for you, the good news is that because of the work that I've done, and I think this is a really important point and really why I think I told this story, is that it is okay to have the parts of us that still cling to diet culture, that still cling to all of those things that we learned. That's those parts that still feel like weight loss is the answer to having some kind of happier, better, more meaningful life. And to be able to recognize that, like, that's a part of me that might always be around. It's been real quiet lately until this incident. But when I was able to step back and notice that, like, oh gosh, there's that part that I've done a lot of work to recognize. And I was able to, like, the other parts of me and, like, me, Keri, self led me, was able to say, okay, that's enough of that. Like, this is not good for us. And I deleted TikTok promptly. Um, and that I've deleted it before, but well, this time I think it's
Yeah.
for good.
But hey, like that part of you that was showing up was serving a purpose. Like it wants you
100%.
to feel safe. It wants you to
Yeah.
feel like, I think anytime we think about why, especially when we're like healing from diet culture, we're feeling like we're trying to find greater body acceptance or greater acceptance with the way we eat. The part that's like holding us back and holding us to diet culture is functional, like it's serving a purpose. It's
Yeah.
trying to keep us safe, trying to keep us loved and accepted, and God, like that's all we want. And I think also there's that nagging little voice that's like, hey, but this would be healthy for you.
Yeah.
And to battle those, like to have those parts battle inside your brain. First of all, like I when Keri first told me the story, I was like, my gal pal, you are so dang self-aware to be able to zoom out and see all this happening almost in like real time. Maybe some of it was in real time, maybe some of it was after the fact, but that's a really hard thing to do, to name all these parts and to be really gentle with that part of you that's saying like, ooh, this is really appealing, and you should, dangling the carrot in front of your face, basically, of the GLP-1.
Yeah. And we can't always be self-aware, right? I think
No.
sometimes we have this like misconception that like we're going to get to this place of like ultimate self-awareness, and that the goal here is to just understand what's happening internally all the time. Like I clearly was not, because this wasn't like a couple hour thing. This was like a week or two long, slow evolution of
Slow
like
burn.
going down. Yeah. So like I didn't really realize it at first, but like you're saying, the important part is that there was like ultimate awareness of what was happening, and this has taken a very long time.
Yeah.
And there's still, listen, even at the end, there's still those parts that were like a little judgmental of like, how could you even go there, right? And those parts, like you're saying, like those parts have good intention too.
Yeah. It's like, I think again, it's where the IFS stuff is so helpful, because it's like all of this stuff can exist together and still make up you, and this doesn't make you wholly good, wholly bad. Like we don't need to, label that as such. We just need to say all these parts are working together, and they make sense. They make sense why they're showing up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was super uncomfortable. It did not feel good.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's like you're having a reckoning with yourself. I think too, as therapist and dietitian, right? Like this is something we often get to witness for people. I think witnessing for ourselves sometimes feels especially challenging, because we sometimes take that like third party backseat to watching this unfold, and so when it happens to us again, it's almost like,
Yeah.
oh God, like I'm always like, what would I tell a client?
Yeah.
Which sometimes is helpful and sometimes it's not, because I can't therapize myself, first of all.
Yeah.
This is where talking it out loud with someone who you trust feels really, really, really important.
Yeah. I think too, like, and I talk to clients about this, that I feel like this is where some lived experience in this stuff is helpful, like when working with clients. Again, not that you have to, and I'm sure there's plenty of wonderful clinicians who do a great job, like navigating this. But, and like I told clients about this. Again, not every client, it's not appropriate in every situation. But I have clients who also have been really impacted by like the GLP-1 conversation. And I think being able to show like, and all of you that are listening too, right, to tell you that this impacts us too, right? That this isn't some kind of like internal issue.
Yeah.
Yes, there's like internal stuff that we all have to kind of grapple with our own history and maybe trauma and all of that, and personality, right, and characteristics, etc. And this is a greater systems issue, and this impacts all of us. I'm not going to sit here on some pedestal and say, well, the goal is to get to some place where this like doesn't impact you anymore, because then we are going to be really damn hard on ourselves and
Yeah.
really judgmental.
Yeah.
But to be in a place where like this is what being like recovered, if we want to call that, like this is what it looks like for me, this is what it looks like for you, this is what it looks like for a lot of people, where it's less about never having thoughts like this and more about feeling pretty confident that you know what to do when they pop
Pop
up
up.
and know where to turn.
And something that I often think about is we can't take away that these thoughts are ever going to happen. We can't, I have to talk with people that like say that that's the goal, right? To never have thoughts like this again, to never have the thoughts or the pull towards doing a GLP-1 or doing something for intentional weight loss. And in my mind, it's not, if I was queen of the world and I could wave my magic wand, sure, that'd be
We'll
great.
start like a colony on Mars where we never talk about this stuff, and the commercials like tell you the opposite, and then maybe we would be able to phase out thoughts like this 100%.
Yeah. And the reality of the situation is, hey, like, I want this to affect you less. And I hope that that's where I think, too, my wants as a clinician are not, like, again, the client's wants come first, always. And my hope is that, the person's affected less by these thoughts, I think to not be affected at all. It's not a possibility yet, right? Until we make the world safe for all bodies and body diversity, we're going to keep being affected by it. And so you're right. It's a matter of how do we get confident in like, how do we approach when these feelings do come up? What do we do about it? where do we go next? Like, do we fall back into those same patterns? Do we do something different? It's, I think, building that confidence in it. And it's hard, but I think looking at, like, again, this very specific experience that you had, you approached this much differently than past Keri would have,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
powerful.
I think it's also important just to add on top of all of that, that like, even though I consider myself in a larger body, there's still lots of privileges that I hold. I can still like squeeze myself into public spaces, right? Even if it's not always comfortable and I sometimes need accommodations, right? My life isn't like negatively impacted in a way that is like not manageable for me. Like it completely makes sense to me why people
Yeah.
who are in different types of bodies that don't have access to things. Listen, I talk to clients about, people having fertility struggles because their
Yeah.
quote unquote BMI is like too high. Like, what do you do? I've sat with a client and been like, okay, if you're gonna have to lose weight for this, like, how can we do this in a way where it's not gonna completely wreck you, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have some answer, and I know you don't either, to like how to do that, but
Yeah.
like open to the conversation, right? I know, and I think maybe this comes for us with like feeling a little, not that I even consider myself, see, I don't know what the word season means, but having done this for a little bit of time where I'm pretty sure there have, at least I can think of a client who maybe didn't come back because they decided to go back to dieting and were worried
Ooh.
about if I would judge them in some way. And this is a really, I think, for us, a tricky line to walk, because we want to be clear that like we don't always condone it for people for the good of their mental or physical health, because we don't think it's going to be helpful for
Mm.
them, but we also are not judging people that are making those choices. I think it's a matter of, how are you making the choice? Are you really aware of all the things that are coming up for you? Is it a meaningful choice for you, or is it what you think you're supposed to be doing, or you think you're going to be happier in some way? Because for a lot of people that's not really the answer.
Yeah. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It's, I think, and for those of us who choose to not dip our toe back in the dieting waters, hey, like, solidarity, compassion to all, really. This is we were saying right before we got on this call, it is hard to be a human. It's hard to have a body. I feel like I say that 47 times a day, that like, this is all hard. There's no right quote, way to do this thing. I think, again, it's noticing, how does it feel in your body when these thoughts pop up? And again, in your example, it was uncomfy. It was uncomfy.
Just terrible, like really
Yeah.
terrible.
It's
Again, worth
agonizing.
it, like worth it to like
Yeah.
be on the other side of it and to have more understanding. And it might not be the last time it comes up, because I feel like this even was happening like a month or two ago, and it
Yeah.
kind of settled down and
Yeah.
then popped back up.
There's like peaks and valleys to it, right? I think it's something that, gosh, I mean, I've noticed, my own feeds, the ads that come across the platforms I watch, right? Having, yeah, an increase in the, God, like I keep seeing the powdered greens one,
Yeah.
I don't even know what the brand is, but like the powdered greens that people are drinking for whatever benefits,
Yeah.
that's been the thing. And it's like, I feel like I've seen so much more of that. If you had asked me this a month ago, I hadn't seen almost any diet ads in a minute. And I know it's the timing of the new year. It's the timing of, this is when people make resolutions and make these big lofty goals based in health. And again, I air quotes, because is it really based in health? I think this is something that ebbs and flows throughout time. We are also ebbing and flowing with it. It I think affects us differently during different times. It feels like when everyone is talking about it, we're all kind of like magnetically pulled into it, and it's hard to resist that magnetic field, and to lean back. When this feels especially loud.
We feel kind of like an outsider sometimes, right? We talk about like, going back into the, like, for people that are in person offices, right? And like, you might feel really secure in the choices that you're making for yourself, and then there you are in the office and everyone's talking about it. I mean, and this is everywhere. I worked in schools for a while, and again, I think everyone was like super well intentioned, and I think people just don't
Yeah.
I wasn't having these conversations like with very wonderful colleagues, but there were people like sitting in their offices in like an elementary school building with their doors open talking about their diets. And for me, like it was so uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
honestly, one of the reasons that I chose not to work there anymore. And again, it wasn't the only reason, but it was really uncomfortable for me. And not everyone has that choice to be like, I'm gonna not work in this job anymore
Yeah.
and do something else. But people returning from after New Year's now back in office spaces where this is just, again, it's normalized. And then you feel like an outsider, or you feel like you're wrong, or maybe it makes you question yourself, or you don't feel comfortable talking to those friends about it. I know we've talked a lot about how, like, we don't have a lot of in person, every, like, day to day interactions with people who feel the way that we do.
Yeah, no.
Right? And this is the what's so great about things like social media and being able to meet other
Yeah.
people, and but then it comes with the downsides of having to watch people talk about things that really
Yeah.
don't align for you.
Yeah. I mean, people that I love, this is, I think, a maybe a dietitian thing too. And I hope, if other dietitians hear this can relate, especially eating disorder, disordered eating, intuitive eating, haze people, like, gosh, like you tell someone you're a dietitian and they immediately are like, oh my gosh, I could use you after the new year. I got an email the other day from somebody who I'm working with. This client is like utilizing the resources from this other place. I'm not going to give detail, but this person knows that I'm working with this client in an eating disorder capacity and said to me, I could really use your services after the new year with everything that I ate.
Thank goodness.
And I
Great.
was like, yeah, like,
I
how
know.
do I even? But you know what? I think also I've become so numb to this that like I don't even, of course I have a reaction, but like it feels like I kind of have this canned response of what do I say when that happens. And it's like, hey, like trust your body, right? And like eating all foods is important.
Do you ever think that people think we're so annoying? I had a
Yeah.
friend over, my friend was here, who knows how I feel and like, I think has made a lot of like adjustments in her mind. And the way she talks to me about our kids and her, like she's definitely like shifted. So like I don't like withhold what I'm saying, but she like grabbed a bag of chips from like the my pantry, and she was like, she had had like a hard day at work. She was like, I earned this today, and of course I was like, you don't need to earn your food, like. Like I can't help it. And then I think how annoying sometimes do we probably
I,
sound to people who are like, shut up enough already about
I
this.
mean, my own husband and my dad, last night we were having dinner, the three of us, and my husband was like, "Oh, I'm checking into my hunger and fullness cues," and like I 1,000% know he was like mocking, teasing me, right? And I just glared at him. I was like, "Do you recognize that you only do like you always do this? You always tease me, and like there's truth in what I'm saying, dang it! And clearly you're retaining some of it, right?
Yeah.
Clearly some of it's sticking." Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I definitely feel like because again we are the outsiders in this, we are swimming upstream, we are going against the grain of what the rest of the world thinks is totally cool. I love being a squeaky wheel,
Mhm.
and a lot of capacities I enjoy being a
Yeah.
squeaky wheel, and not because I love to yap and like get my voice heard, but like because I genuinely feel like this is what's right, what's appropriate for most humans. I genuinely believe in this stuff, and it would feel so disingenuous to not be noisy about it, right? When I feel so strongly.
It also helps strengthen those parts, right? Like the parts that we've kind of helped strengthen over the years now of this is what we believe, right? Like this is what feels right for us, and like this is how we like the path that we want to take. And I feel like talking and even making maybe little side comments or whatnot to friends or family does help us like continue to honor those parts, and that feels really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if we're being annoying, which is fine.
No, I agree. I think it builds that confidence, builds that voice. I think also at least the people that we spend the most time with, it starts to like get them used to the language of it as well. Like I don't know, I think it serves a lot of purposes.
Yeah.
And one of these days, Carrie, we're gonna have to do like a full breakdown of, maybe not a full because who has time for that, but like a breakdown of IFS in more detail on like
Mhm. Yeah.
We say parts, what do we mean?
Yeah.
But for those of you who are familiar with it, it's all of the pieces of you that are simultaneously chattering, at once. Um, they can all fit. They can all come
Yeah.
along for the ride here. It makes sense when we feel more than one thing at one given time. And
That is
so,
a hard concept. Like it sounds like an easy concept, but I think for even for us sometimes, like when
oh,
you're sitting in it and you're like, oh wait, maybe there's more than one truth right now. Like it doesn't have to
yeah.
be black or
Hmm.
white.
Which I think recovering from diet culture, yeah, that the seeing the black and white, oof, finding
Yeah.
the gray in that there two things can be true at once. That's one of the hardest things. I personally still struggle with that and like label that in therapy all the time. That I'm sitting in agony over this thing where two things are true, and I just it feels like you're being torn in two. It's
Yeah.
such a hard experience. And again,
Yeah.
it's very, I think, human, something we all experience. Maybe we haven't named it as such yet, but hopefully, yeah, the permission, that duality, that both things can be true at once, both things can exist, might be a little freeing. Might be.
Yeah, I think parts work actually for those of you who again will for sure we'll come back to this. For those of you who do have like some awareness of it, I think the way I describe it and the way I understand it is a lot of times when we're feeling really like overwhelmed by feelings, not all the time, but I think for a lot of people, a lot of the time, it's because we have parts that have lots of different feelings like kind of activated and up at the same time, and being able to notice, oh, here are all the ways that I'm feeling right now, or here are all the ways that different parts of me are feeling. Um, Again, maybe doesn't change like the conflict that like feels like it's between them, but you're able to kind of sort it a little bit more easily and say, oh, like it makes sense why I feel overwhelmed right now in this situation because I've got two parts that have like totally opposite views or feelings around what's going on.
Yeah.
And that can help like sort that or kind of put a little bit of a damper on feelings of overwhelm
Yeah.
around things like that.
I was gonna say, I don't think IFS is helpful in like eliminating the feeling, but it's helpful
Yeah.
in naming it and to me, like giving permission for again why things are happening, why things make sense, why
Hmm.
you're feeling what you're feeling,
Yeah.
which to me leads to greater compassion, right? Like self compassion.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll get there. One of these days we'll do it.
I wonder if we could do a quick, just for a minute or two, like since
Yeah.
I brought up the social media thing, and I'm sure one of the things that people might be struggling right now is watching the ads and things. Again, that like ridiculous algorithm, right? Like you say something out loud and then there's the ad on your social media somehow.
Yes.
Kind of like what maybe like tips you might talk with either for yourself or with clients about like what you would advise if they're like, oh my God, social media is driving me crazy right now. But I like it and it's helpful in
Yeah.
this way. What do you usually talk to clients
Yeah.
about?
I mean, I love it. I think there's a couple, depending on what app we're utilizing, I think there's a couple things we can do. One thing I say to clients is if they get an ad that they don't jive with, there's typically the option to either report
Hmm.
and or see less of.
Yeah.
I am the girl who will report dieting content, like an ad as harmful. So that's kind of a fun, to me, that feels like an active push up against diet culture thing.
I don't
So,
feel bad about it. Like nothing bad's gonna
oh
happen to you.
yeah, no,
Like
I love doing it. I think if anything, it also just, yeah, it feels powerful. So
you can even pick
reporting,
something like it's insensitive, right? Like I feel like it gives
yes,
you so pick what feels good for you that like maybe it just doesn't feel good
yeah,
for you to
yeah,
see
but
it.
like report it, see less of it, right?
Yeah.
I think also on like I know Instagram, there's different settings. I think I have it saved in my personal private practice. What are these called? The not the reels, the highlights. That's the
Mhm.
thing. I have a little thing saved on like how to stream, how to eliminate certain things from your news feed. Um, it's imperfect, but I'm a fan of doing some of these active things if that feels good. I'm also a fan of you know okay, we felt activated. We notice we felt activated. If we're in the moment, can we just put the phone down and like take a second to
Yeah.
name that? And maybe it's I have a lot of clients who like to whether it's like shoot me a text between sessions on, oh hey, I want to talk about this, or they send themselves a voice memo, kind of outlining how they were feeling, what they noticed. But to me, social media can serve a lot of purposes and we can like it and it can still do us harm.
Mm-hmm.
I will always advocate for a little bit more space between ourselves and social media. I think, what do we get from social media? Right? We might get interaction with other humans. Can we get that in a different way that doesn't have the same amount of diet culture pushing us in the face, right? Like pushing at us.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree with all those things. And I also like the idea of leaning, like thinking about the opposite of if I want to continue to use social media, which like we said, this is like
Yeah.
such a personal choice, to maybe lean into like maybe looking at people who are in like different types of bodies, like kind of like expanding what you're seeing, which has to be a really intentional choice, right? And again, it's got to be something that like is helpful for you, like maybe following people who live in larger bodies and like watching people live beautiful lives like in all different types of
Yeah.
bodies, or following people that are talking specifically about this stuff. um Similarly to this, I feel like I talk to a lot of clients about like that feel really good after we talk about it, like, oh, I feel so much better, and we only see each other once a week or every couple of weeks, to in between like find some podcasts that you really like, find some other people who you can listen to who are talking about these things.
Yeah.
And the other, yeah, go ahead. Hmm?
Little infusions of it.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
what I call it. Yeah.
Yeah, intentional, right? Like saying, I need to hear more of this, or I'm going to read this book once a day for 5 minutes just to like continue the conversation. The other thing that I've done recently, which again, this isn't for everyone, and especially if you're trying to like get off of social media, like maybe don't do this. But I think if you're saying to yourself, here is where it is helpful for me, or here's what I like, I made a separate like Instagram account where I only
Oh.
follow people who are doing knitting, basically, or crocheting,
Mm-hmm.
and like baking, making food, which anytime you're following people who are talking about food in any way, like you're still going to run into some of the issues. There are plenty of accounts that I follow who I love, like their recipes, and still talk trash about their bodies. And sometimes I say something to them, I'll like DM them, but most of the time I don't do it. But I just have to say to myself, you're going to judge. Like, this is less impactful, and I just want to look at like the recipes. But you could make a totally separate account. I have a separate account from my even like business account, because sometimes even my business account I feel triggered by because everyone is talking about it all the time, and sometimes even that feels like
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think going on an intentional following spree,
Yeah.
people in diverse bodies, diverse abilities. Yeah, big fan of that.
Different types of yarn, clearly helpful. Everyone should try it. That's all I know.
Yarn, recipes, cats, dogs,
Yeah.
like find your thing.
Memes.
I think
Love
too,
something.
I mean, like, I have clients who I'll have them put, gosh, like, they'll make a little, everyone has, if you're hyper organized, like my brain, you might have a little category on your phone, like a little section that's all your social media stuff. Create a little category, a little box that's all like self-soothing stuff.
Mm,
I
yeah.
think having them right next to each other is kind of helpful as a visual reminder of like, ooh, I'm feeling activated. Can I pivot to something? I have like a meditation app. I have a really fun like mindless game,
Love
like
it.
one of those like whether it's like the wood sliding where like you have to fit it to certain, like mindless, easy, fluffy. Nothing's gonna happen in it. Those are helpful. And again, like putting down your phone.
Maybe we'll do an episode about apps that we like one day. There's a mental health
Yeah.
app called Finch, which is kind of like a gamified kind of app.
Yeah, I
With a
love it.
little, I have a lot of clients who like that. My daughter, like when she was struggling with something, she's 12. I had to think about that for a second. She's 12.
Sorry,
She
Sadie.
she downloaded it, and similar to how she feels about like maybe it's Duolingo or something. I don't know how they even got into that. I think at school maybe they suggested like because they do Spanish like once a week because at the age that she's at, and they said do Duolingo. Like they love that streak. And it's the
Mhm.
same thing on the Finch app where like you've been doing this, and like in Finch it's like you got a little animal. It reminds me of like
Tamagotchis.
I think that they came back. I feel like they're selling them again, and I think maybe I want one. I don't know.
Goes to Amazon right now and sees if there's.
Right. Not that I want something else to take care of, particularly at this moment in time, because there's like too many people and things and animals that are like relying on me, which I don't always enjoy. I mean, I love them all, but it's like not always enjoyable.
For
Right.
anyone who's wondering, they are on the Amazon. Not that we love Amazon, but dang.
Like, are they on Prime? That's important. I also, me and Amazon are also
I
having a
know.
moment where I'm like, do I need to get rid of this? Because cannot, like, the amount of things, and maybe it's the time of year, the amount of things that I've purchased,
Yes.
and we know these big companies they're all terrible in some way.
Yep.
Um,
Point.
but it's nice for seeing. Sometimes you need something quickly, and like it's okay to need something quickly and to like let yourself have access to it.
Yes. Yes. Permission all around. Be kind to yourself, damn it.
Do it or else.
But all right, friends, we will catch you on the flip side. We so appreciate you listening as always.
And maybe next time we'll be singing you in.
Oh yeah, we're gonna sing to you next time. If you want more, go follow us on Instagram at Diet Recovery Club, Facebook, same name, or you can email us dietrecoveryclub@gmail.com. We love ya. We'll talk to you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.